John, welcome. I hope you're comfortable. I'm sure you've prepped for this. So now you may speak and present.
I want to tell you a true story about Hans, one of millions of people every year who goes to the hospital for a routine surgery, such as a knee replacement, and wakes up in a much worse state than when they arrived, feeling disoriented, hallucinating, struggling with memory, and often ending up in a nursing home. And all they wanted was a little more mobility. This is often a result of post-operative delirium, a post-surgical complication that affects 20% of all surgical patients over the age of 60. As with Hans, POD has serious negative outcomes. It doubles nursing home admissions, costs billions to insurers, has a 25% mortality rate within 1 month, and affects 59 million people globally per year. There is no treatment, so we must focus on prevention. The good news is that prevention works, but effective treatments are too costly to deploy for every patient. By identifying patients most in need, surgical staff compliance can be greatly improved. Our solution is to decrease the incidence by creating a reliable, quick, cost-effective risk assessment tool, indicating a patient's risk score prior to surgery, allowing for preventive measures to be taken for high-risk patients, thereby reducing costs and improving outcomes. Our value for patients, improved quality of life and the right to be informed, for hospitals and clinicians, reduced costs and improved outcomes, and for public health, also reduced cost through reduced need for assisted living. And when we talk about AI-driven software, of course, we need to talk about data. And we've been able to secure over 20,000 patients worth of raw, valuable data, by far the largest database in the world on POD, used to train our algorithm. We own this data, giving us both IP and business protection. Our software is now in its final phase of development for CE certification and launch. And we already have a very good prediction model with an area under the curve 0.82. And there are over 22,000 hospitals in our target market, which equals a total addressable market size of 7.7 billion euros per year. In our beachhead market, we already have 6 hospitals interested in pilot projects. Our business model: hospitals save through reduced length of hospital stay and reduced staffing costs. A budget impact analysis showed that we could save a mid-sized public hospital in Switzerland 2.2 million Swiss francs per year. And finally, we have a passionate, dedicated, multidisciplinary team headed by Nayeli Schmutz, an anesthesiologist, Ben Dodsworth, a cell biologist, and myself, a serial entrepreneur, accompanied by experts in AI, research, marketing, and finance, and supported by a brilliant advisory board with 3 key opinion leaders. Together with our advisors, partners, and investors, we can help ensure that people like Hans have a better chance of leaving the hospital better than when they arrived. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Excellent pitch. Very good use of a real story, so we really understand what's happening on the ground and what can be done. Before you leave, I'd like again to ask jury president Mark Ferguson for a quick question before we close the 7th pitch.
Very interesting pitch. Can I ask about your business model? I mean, business models that rely on hospital savings are often quite difficult because you'll have the occasional patient that has delirium despite the preventative treatment. How confident are you that hospitals will pay to use your app? And can you also clarify the CE status for me, please? Thank you.
We conducted a very extensive external budget impact analysis specifically for the hospital to see what kind of value we could create for the hospital. The average POD patient has an increased length of stay of 2.9 days, which turns into a direct cost to the hospital. And there is no actual reimbursement in most countries that we've looked at specifically for post-operative delirium. There's no extended reimbursement. So this is a huge savings opportunity, as I mentioned, to up to 2.2 million Swiss francs in a base case for a Swiss public hospital, a mid-sized hospital. So we think we have a very good business case. We've spoken to several hospitals. We have 6 hospitals interested in pilots specifically for that reason. Our CE mark, so we are scheduled to be CE certified as a Class 1 device in March, April this year.